All right, Shalom. First, like start by sending all praise to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem HaKadosh, that my honors to the elders and the apostles that rule well, and salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth and sincerity. This is basically impromptu, so I'm just going to start with this Isaiah chapter 13, verse 1. The burden of Babylon, Babylon being America, which Isaiah the son of Amoz did see, lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain. That banner represents the Bible. Exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand, that they may go into the gates of the nobles. Right. The high mountain represents America. The gates of the nobles is the leaders of the nation. The word is getting out into the gates of the nobles. Your senators know who we are. The whole U.S. government know who we are. You know, and not just them, all around the world. You know, I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger. The sanctified ones are the prophets. The mighty ones are the angels. Even them that rejoice in my highness. Right. So the point being, you're supposed to lift up this Bible and tell this nation off, man. You're not supposed to be holding your tongue. You're not supposed to be changing the doctrine. And let them know that this is the end of their kingdom. How do we know it's the end? By way of Bible prophecy. Second Ezra chapter 9, verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. How do you measure the time? By way of prophecy. By watching the news, my bad. The news represents the prophecy. You have to be diligent at it, which means you have to constantly watch the news. Sometimes the Lord might have it to where you get pulled back and take a break from the news and go into something else, like learning the Hebrew, reading a book, or whatever the case may be, because they like to run them same programs over and over for a week or two, sometimes a little longer, so you already kind of know what the fuck they gonna say, you know, or the Spirit just might have you just be going a different route and then coming back. You know, but yeah, it says, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, right? And the signs is what's the news. That's why you have to watch it. You see what's going on in the news, and you link it with the scriptures. But Jake and them got the attitude of they don't give a fuck about the news. They don't want to know nothing about the news. They don't want to. It's too oppressive. It's too much violence and things of that nature. And that's the exact reason why they're going to be destroyed. That's the exact reason why they can be no priests unto the Lord, like Hosea 4 and 6 say, because they don't have this Lord's spirit, ultimately. They're not diligent, you know. They're not paying attention. It says, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Right, and we know the Lord is visiting this place by way of prophecy. Jake and them know the Lord is visiting this place, but they don't know how to really line it up with the scriptures. They don't know how to go get a precept. They don't know how to see what to do afterwards and do while it's happening, and what's to come afterwards and what happened. And they don't know none of that. The only thing they can tell you is that, yeah, we know this is the day of the Lord. We know this is, we living in Revelations. We know that this is the tribulation, but they can't go get none of it. You got to be able to sit there and go get these precepts and eat them. And if you're a male, teach them. And if you're a female, walk them and use them in your household to run your household. Same thing with the male. But it says, verse 3, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes, and we just had two major earthquakes, 1, 2, 3. We had three or four earthquakes. California had earthquake. Japan had earthquake. Venezuela had 2 devastating earthquakes in which we believe, us that's in the know, and even you know, Edomites and things like that have been saying that was the HAARP program. Esau strategically moving upon Venezuela, or acting upon Venezuela. You know, they want them resources over there. They already took down Maduro, and obviously, if they sent the earthquake, meaning that the Venezuelan people, which are the Lord's people, which are the Asherites, are going to aren't going to submit. So they sent the earthquake. But the fucked up, but if Israel knew who they were, that whole South America is Venezuela, except Argentina and Chile. You know, the whole South America, I said Venezuela, the whole South America is Asher. You know, it's other Israelite nations down there, but that area is Asher, the Asherites. So there's predominantly Asher right over there. You know, and Jake's supposed to come together and fight against their enemy, like we have done in the ancient world. Yep, but it's coming back. It's going to start with the elect. It's going to take the elect, the chosen, the ones that's preaching the word and sincerity and truth to do that. And then we're going to rule over our oppressors and, you know, and keep everything in righteous order. You know, but back in the ancient world, the Lord have it to where Jake and them mount up. Get your armor, get the weaponry, and go up and fight against these nations. But yeah, it says, verse 3, therefore when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. You see uproars going on all over the world right now, man. Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee. Right, biblical prophecy. We have it now today, and that's why everybody can say that, oh man, this stuff happened in the ancient world. This stuff happened in biblical times, and now they're happening now today. That's an example of spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. But these things were happening in the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. Right, the end of Esau's kingdom is being manifest, not the end of the actual world. And like some comet finna hit this place and explode Earth, or a massive earthquake gonna tear through the world. And you know, they got all these different movies. I think 2012 was one of them. I think another movie was called The End of Days, where the massive with the climate change, and half of the U.S. is froze, another half is underwater, another part is yeah, all that ain't what the end of days is according to the scriptures. The end of days is the ending of Esau's kingdom, the white man's kingdom, and the ushering in by force the Hebrew Israelites' kingdom, because the world was made for our sakes, according to 2 Ezra chapter 6, start at verse 54, and read on down, you can finish the chapter. The world was made for the Hebrew Israelites' sake, the so-called blacks, Latins, Native Americans. And it doesn't matter what color you are, it just matters what your nationality is. That color situation didn't come in until the Edomite devil white people start ruling. I kind of forgot the year, but I think it was during the time of the, somewhere after the Dark Ages, something like that. Yeah, it wasn't about color, because our people look like the other nations. And the white people look like black people. And what I mean by that is, you will have the slave master. During slavery, our slave master slept with our women and had children by our women, and and the children might have looked like the mother, might have had the complexion of a black man, but wasn't a black man, was really an Edomite, really a white man. It's about the spirit, about the seed that you plant, man. You know? So yeah, back at 2 Ezra chapter 9, verse 5. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. Right, so the end is being manifested right now via these prophecies. That's why you got the so-called UFOs showing up. You know, that's why it's climate change, what they call climate change going on, and all this extreme heat temperature and things like that. And to be honest with you, sometimes they use that shit as a distraction. Keep your eyes open for the RFID microchip, the MOTB. Keep your eyes open on what's going on with the Battle of Armageddon, because the Battle of Armageddon already started. That's World War III. It's already happening. It's not as hot as it's supposed to be. Really, everything in the scriptures is happening right now. It's just not as hot as it's supposed to be right now. Everything. People willingly taking the chip. They're not being forced to take the chip. But in some way, these things are happening. People are willingly taking the RFID microchip, which is the MOTB, according to Revelations chapter 13, verse 16. You know? So you have to be mindful that we are already here. We already here, man. And just like how COVID came out of nowhere, they locked everything down. Same thing can happen over there. There can be an economic collapse. Now your money ain't worth nothing. And now people robbing, looting, killing, and stealing. You know, that's what's next. That's what's next. And these things have been playing out for the longest times over in the Middle East with these wars, with war-torn countries, and people are dying of famine. That means they're killing each other for food, but they're not putting that stuff in the media. You can't go days without having something to drink, and they in hot temperatures. You can't go weeks without having something to eat. Well, you can go weeks, but it's going to affect you. It's going to affect your mentality. You're going to be in survival mode, and you're going to be wanting to do stuff to people. Take what's theirs or eat them. They don't put none of that stuff in the media, but everything is war-torn. Everything is war-torn. You know? You don't know when they getting aid, if they getting aid. And a lot of those people are sacrifices. That's why this devil has to go. That's why you can't trust this devil, this enemy. Any chance you get, put a curse upon these devils, if you ask me. Pray all, scriptures say pray without ceasing. That includes putting curses upon these people and upon this world and upon these Edomites and these heathen nations. We want this shit to end. The more and more you pray, the more and more the Lord going to answer your prayers, and the more and more the Lord going to exalt you and be with you. The Lord is looking for us to pray to him, man. All right, so it says, verse 6, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works, how the world was created, and endings and effects and signs. Right. And that's going to be our deliverance. That's going to be the signs and, of the ending, you know, by way of so-called UFO. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works behind doing the truth. You got a lot of guys that's sitting there trying to act like they cool with you, but they not doing the truth. Oh, I know him, but they're not doing the truth. The fame that we're receiving behind being prophets and being on point through the spirit and power of Yahweh, people like that and want to attach themselves to you, but they don't want to do the work. They will not be saved. And you are supposed to separate yourself from them type of people, man. 2 Corinthians 9:7. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works. That's the only way you're going to get up out of here is by doing the work. And by faith whereby ye have believed. Right, you're going to be able to escape by your works and by your faith. Remember, people were getting healed because of their belief. The Lord was healing people because they believed in him. And he left cities and didn't do miracles in certain cities because they didn't believe. Verse 8, shall be preserved from the said perils, right? Them race wars, civil wars, revolutions, seditions, all in one, famine, perils, perilous times, dangerous times. What do you call that? Pestilence, which represents diseases. Cannibalism. That's going on, but they're not putting it in the media, and it's gonna it's gonna hit home. It might you might not think it apply to you because you're in America, and this is what they call a great empire, a first world kingdom, and not a third world kingdom. But America is supposed to get it the worst out of all the nations. America is gonna be the last one hit. A lot of them countries over there, you know, been going through that, so they kind of used to that shit. But you Americans are not. Americans don't know how to suffer. They don't know how to survive. But that's why Esau wants to, because Esau is smart. And the scriptures even said that Esau, once he found out, they start searching these things out and start preparing. Jake, on the other hand, are slow to it, but it's not going to do no one no justice if you're not of the elect. Because the end all be all of this place is thermonuclear fire from the nations that are coming up against this place. From Russians, the BRICS, what they call the BRICS, the European Union, NATO, which are America allies, they're going to come up against this place as well. But it says, 2 Ezra 9 and 8, shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders. For I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. Right? It was already predestined whom the Lord was going to save. It was already predestined who the Lord sanctified, set separate, same thing, election, predestination, same difference. In the Lord's land, that's the land of Israel. The land of Israel is going to be ultimately nuked by thermonuclear missiles and rebuilt back up, and we're going to go to the land of Israel. We're going to inhabit the land of Israel. But not only are we going to inhabit the land of Israel, we're going to inhabit the rest of the planets around the world. You know? These planets that they keep finding, and they just found another one. I just seen it on the news. I forgot what specific news channel. I had to check my social media because I saved the news on my social media. And yeah, they said there's another inhabited Earth somewhere close to the Earth for people to go to. And then they said something else about another inhabited Earth or another inhabited place where the so-called aliens are. And then Esau, he makes up lies as far as aliens and shit like that. And, you know, but as far as these other inhabited places, 9 times out of 10 might be true. Because there are other inhabited places. The Lord said he's going to stretch out, I think he said, the curtains of heaven and reveal these other planets and whatnot for us to inhabit. Because we're going to rule forever. Forever, ever. We're going to rule forever, man. No ending to our rule. In righteousness, we're going to have children. I'm going to get that precept. We're going to have an infinity amount of children. Our children are going to have children. Our children's children are going to have children. Children's are going to have children. The power of Yahweh Shem Shai, because we only know of one planet. We only know of one earth. We don't know about, we don't know about what's going on in these other planets outside of testimonies that the Edomites have said to us about them being, not kidnapped, but, abducted. You know, and then sometimes you can feel it in the spirit, but that's a conversation for another day. Anyway, I'm going to end that right there. This is, Daniel chapter 7. Daniel chapter 7 verse 18. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever. The kingdom is America. We're going to take this place over. With Yahweh Shai leading the way. It says, but the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. Right? And we're going to take it by way of force. War. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai, man. And it's going to be a forever rule. See, I wasn't just making that up, man. And I'm trying to get y'all to see Forever means forever. You know? Let me read this again. Daniel chapter 7, verse 18. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom. Take it by force. You know this Edomite devil, white man ain't finna try to get his kingdom up. As you can see, when nations have made smarter business decisions than he has, with even with the money and amongst other things, he would declare war on them. He would lie, be deceitful, and use witchcraft on them to take them down. Showing you that this white man doesn't want to go out of power. He doesn't want to come out of power. He don't want to get that seat up. They had all type of news articles and documentaries on the dirty tactics that's being used by the nations, by America in particular, to keep other nations from getting exceeding them. So you think that they actually gonna give the kingdom over to blacks, Native Americans after the history that these closed-minded people know, the only history that they know about us being in captivity and things like that? You think they actually gonna get a kingdom up? No, we gotta take it. We're gonna take it by force through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai, man. Daniel chapter 7, verse 18. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever. Right, man. And we're going to take it by force. Jeremiah 51:20. Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war. Who? The children of Israel. For with thee will I break in pieces the nations, just like the days of old. Just like during King David's time. King David went to war with the nations, subjugated the nations in his peace in King Solomon's time. Jeremiah 51:20. Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war. For with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms. Right, man? Let me start at Jeremiah 51:19 so you can know who it's talking about. The portion of Jacob, Jeremiah 51:19, the portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. The Lord of hosts is his name. Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war. For with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms. See? The Lord gonna use his people to take down America, to take over the world. It ain't no coincidence why it says in Revelation that the Lord gonna have many crowns. Verse 21. And with thee will I break in pieces the horse and his rider, and with thee will I break in pieces the chariot and his rider. That's the army. Break in pieces armies. And with thee will I break in pieces man and woman, and with thee will I break in pieces old and young, and with thee will I break in pieces the young man and the maid. The maid is the young woman. The Lord is going to kill these people and their armies. That's all that's speaking on. I will also break in pieces with thee the shepherd and his flock, the church pastor. And with thee will I break in pieces the husbandman and his yoke of oxen. And with thee will I break in pieces captains and rulers, captains of armies, rulers of nations. Yeah, the Lord ain't playing. That's why the Lord wants us to be on point, circumspect, preparing for war. Spiritually. Spiritual spirit is your mind. Mentally, same difference. You have to be paying attention to what's going on in the Middle East, all the wars and how Esau fighting, because they putting the strategy out in front of you. You have to be paying attention to that shit. Not only you have to be paying attention to it, you should be training right now. Boxing, jiu-jitsu, judo, taekwondo, MMA, what do you call it? Mixed martial arts. There's another name for it. You should be training right now, and the training don't stop. This is a forever. I mean, that's not a forever thing. This is a thing until the Lord returns, man. Best believe, and I'm just speaking from extrapolation. Best believe if I'm in the bush by myself, or in the bush with a woman or whoever the fuck I'm in the bush with, best believe I'm gonna be still doing my little push-ups, still doing my sit-ups, sharpening my skills, because war done already kicked off. War is everywhere. Who knows what I had to do to get to the bush? We on the highways and byways, people threaten us all the time. When you at your job, people threaten you all the time. When you walk into your daily life, people threaten you all the time. And since we are in the time of war, people are gearing up and getting ready for war. So that means you're not in the spirit if you just sitting by. Like, shit, I ain't worried about nothing. I got this Glock, I got this 9, and that's what a lot of Jake doing. That's what a lot of people doing. Not only Jake, but this is for Jake. That's what a lot of Jake Israelites are doing right now. Well, I got this 9, so I don't give a fuck. They think for some odd ass reason that that gun gonna get them out of all these situations and save them, this, that, and the other. And when that's a art in itself. Knowing weapons is an art. They jam. They don't work if certain things happen to it and things like that. You know. You've been a Hebrew Israelite. You're supposed to know a lot of this stuff and be prepared like that. And no coincidence on why they be saying in these movies, he's out. The gun he had was this. This is 6 shooter. He's shot 6 times. And then they get up and they shoot. All that is a part of war and having the right mentality about the skills and trade that you're in. If you're a professional killer or whatever the case may be, if you just like Jake, shooter, and you're out there killing people, you know these things. The experts know the people that's trying to survive and trying to get shit done know these things. You have to know how to adjust and how to act and move during war. What mind frame to take on, etc. This is Jeremiah 51:23. I will also break in pieces with thee the shepherd and his flock, and with thee will I break in pieces the husbandman and his yoke of oxen, and with thee will I break in pieces captains and rulers. And I will render unto Babylon, which is America, and to all the inhabitants of Chaldea, all their evil that they have done in Zion in your sight, said the Lord Yahweh. Right. And what is that? Thermonuclear missiles. It's going to say it. Verse 25. Behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain, America, said the Lord Yahweh, which destroyed all the earth. I just, right. Her technology, 5G and things, they say that affect the bees and things like that. Who knows what 6G gonna do? The factories, the chemical explosions, the trains blowing up, and a lot of that's done intentionally with all these chemicals in it. The water, poisonous, cancerous. The air, poisonous, cancerous. Amongst other, the food, Monsanto. The medications, witchcraft, same thing. Destroy him that destroyed the earth. You Edomites got to go. You Edomites got to go. America is going to be destroyed by thermonuclear fire. And you Edomite white people are going into captivity for 1,000 years. And then y'all going to be exterminated. Yep. Y'all will be exterminated. The Lord created y'all to be the devil. That's the position that y'all have been playing. And that's the only position you're going to play. Until y'all be destroyed. And then we're going to figure out what the Lord going to do with you afterwards. It says, Jeremiah 51:25. Behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain, said the Lord Yahweh, which destroyeth all the earth, and I will stretch out my hand upon thee and roll thee down from the rocks, and will make thee a burnt mountain. Right. Thermonuclear fire. 26. And they shall not take of thee a stone for a corner, nor a stone for foundations, but thou shalt be desolate forever, said the Lord Yahweh. Right, forever. America's going to be turned and made a desolation. These buildings, these houses, these mansions, these clubs, these museums, the obelisks, these satanic buildings, temples, and things like that, church will be turned into powdered dust. And the only thing that's going to dwell here is certain birds and stuff, owls, and you know. Let me see. It's Isaiah 34, verse 8. For this is the day of the Lord's vengeance, and the year of recompense repayment for the controversy of Zion, for what Israel has went through. All our slavery has been held and it's been acknowledged, held in consideration, and will be we will be repaid for it. We are the Lord's people, the apple of his eye. He that touches us touches the apple of the Lord's eye, like the scriptures say. You mess with the Lord's people, the creator of the worlds, the universe, etc. Therefore, you have to pay. We are the brothers, the sons of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And no other way I could put that for you to get it understood. Y'all might not care about y'all children, you Edomites, but the Lord care about his. Not only for you Edomites, the rest of the heathen. But this is pertaining to America. Verse 9, it says, and the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof shall become burning pitch. America will be hit by thermonuclear missiles. And it shall not be quenched night nor day. The smoke thereof shall go up forever. From generation to generation it shall lie waste. None shall pass through it forever and ever. Right. No one's going to inhabit this place. It's not going to burn forever. It's just going to burn for a nice period of time. Notice when things are set ablaze and they have to let them burn out, that's what's going to happen to America. Verse 11. But the cormorant and the bittern, if you want more understanding of that, just look up what's going on in California, Nevada. And it's going on overseas just as well. But it says, but the cormorant and the bittern shall possess it, the owl also, and the raven shall dwell in it. America, this is the only creatures that's going to be here. And he shall stretch out the line of confusion and the stones of emptiness. Meaning all that, this is the border. Shit, you can't go across here because this is the border. You have to separate it from Canada or whatever the case may be. All that's going to be done away with. They got signs and things that say welcome to Wisconsin, welcome to whatever state you in. You're not gonna know what's one state from the next state. The land is gonna be desolate. You're not gonna know this country from Canada. Except Canada's not gonna be hit by missiles. It's just not gonna be that line there. It says, or Mexico, because Mexico on the other end. I wanted to forget this precept is 2. This precept 2. What do you call it? Okay. Revelation chapter 19, verse 12. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. And he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. And we have the name. But his eyes was a flame of fire, linking up with Revelation chapter 1, verse 13. On the description of the Lord, man. And that many crowns mean that he's going to take down many kingdoms. You know? It's Isaiah chapter 30, verse 1. Woe meaning destruction to the rebellious children, said the Lord Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me. Nope. Slakia. This is Isaiah chapter 31, verse 1. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots, because there are many. Right, so destruction unto you people that's trusting in the military might of this white man, man. And in horsemen, because they are very strong, but they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord Yahweh. Right, you're not looking to the scriptures. You black sons, Native Americans, supposed to be looking to the scriptures, the Bible, to get the understanding. You blacks, meaning you fucking Jamaicans, so-called Jamaicans from the tribe of Benjamin, Trinidadians, whatever you want to call yourselves, y'all are from the tribe of Benjamin. Y'all are part of the 12 tribes of Israel. You Haitians, who are the Levites according to the Bible, y'all are the I just said it. Yeah, y'all are Israelites. Y'all are what we say call as blacks, Latins, and everybody know Latin America, South Central America, man. Them tribes, all them people of that area, whether you Venezuelan, Brazilian, Chilean, it's on the tip of my tongue, Uruguayan, Panamanian, etc., man. South and Central America represents the so-called Latin tribes. The Native Americans, all your tribes, whether you Seminole Native, whether you're Choctaw, whether you're Cherokee, and then they got all types of names of tribes that y'all had. It doesn't matter. You're a child of Israel. All right, it says, Isaiah 31:1, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses. This is only for the Israelites. And trust in chariots because they are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord. Yet he also is wise and will bring evil and will not call back his words, but will arise against the house of evildoers and against the help of them that work iniquity. The Lord gonna rise up against America, man. He will not call back his word. That's why that's why they can't find peace over there in the Middle East. The Lord not allowing them to find peace, no matter who getting it to them, no matter if it's Netanyahu and not seeing eye to eye with Iran, or Trump not seeing eye to eye with Iran. It don't matter. The Lord will not allow them to make peace. We are not in a time of peace. We are in a time of war, according to Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse, what? You can start at verse 1, because it's going to let you know there's a time and a purpose under heaven to everything. And it's going to give out the seasons and the times for each purpose. It says, now the Egyptians, Verse 3. Now the Egyptians are men and not God, and their horses flesh and not spirit. There's a difference. You got what's the flesh, the carnal, that can be hurt via various war tactics and shot, stabs, etc., or sicknesses. Then you got the spirit. What you see the spirit is the Most High. The can't die, or the angels can't die, live forever, no sickness, no injuries, nothing. It's a difference. It says, when the Lord Yahweh shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is hoping shall fall down, and they all shall fail together. All the nations are going to stop their fighting in the Middle East to try to fight against Yahweh Shema Shai, Yahweh Shai's return that was ordained by his father, Yahweh. And they all going to die together. Yep. Okay, no, that's it. Right. So that, yeah, I can get that though. This Isaiah chapter 66, verse 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind to render his anger and with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. That's how the Lord gonna return to this place with them so-called UFOs. They showed them a Day of Independence. That invasion that happened, that's how the Lord is gonna return. Whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus, but his name is Yahweh Shai according to the scriptures, with flames of fire. For by fire and by a sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. That fire represents some so-called laser beams from the chariots, and the so-called the thermonuclear missiles. I said so-called. The laser beams from the chariots, which is concentrated fire, and the thermonuclear missiles. The Lord is going to shoot missiles upon the nations over there in the Middle East, just as well as over here in America, simultaneously shooting laser beams upon the people in their weaponry and things like that, while delivering the nation of Israel. All that's going to be happening at the same time. So anybody that's trying to help fight against the Lord gonna die. And that's for you Negroes that's in the army. You Latins that's in the army. You Native Americans that's in the army. They just recently passed a law to where, well, they just said one Native American. Thus far, I think they made it a law. But I know for this one Native American guy that's been serving in the army, or whichever branch of military that he's serving, they got it to where he can wear his long ass hair because of him being in it so long and his credentials and whatever the fuck the case was. Yeah, you Native Americans, y'all are troops according to the scriptures. Y'all supposed to, but y'all supposed to be using that for the Lord's army, not this white man's army. And I've seen some Native Americans recently. They got that troop spirit on them. Oh, the person that I've seen and the spirit of war that was on him, and you can tell he had strategy and tactics. Oh yeah, he solid. He more advanced than and they preparing like they really preparing. That's the spirit that he was giving off. But he didn't look like much. Didn't look like nothing. You know, regular old Native American. But getting ready. So yeah, man. Trying to forgot why I was saying that. But yeah, y'all supposed to be getting ready for the Lord's army. And not this white man's army. Anybody that's want to be involved in that white man army gonna die with that white man and his army. You know? So Isaiah chapter 66, verse 15 again. I'm reading straight through. For behold, the Lord Yahweh will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by a sword will the Lord Yahweh plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord Yahweh shall be many. They that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens, behind one tree in the midst, eating swine's flesh, and the abomination and the mouths, abominable foods, eating swine, shall be consumed together, said the Lord Yahweh. Right? So if you eating abominable foods, man, you will be killed as well. You know? And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end this video. Call Allah Yahweh by Shema Al-Shai, by Shema Kakadash. Them honors to the elders and the apostles that rule well, and salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth and sincerity. Shalom.